Welcome back to the comic book ASM artist. Today we're going to be doing a video that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. So if you see in front of me here, this is the slipcase for the Art of Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4. And so we're going to be turning through, let's see, the Gallery Works one mainly. It has like more finished pieces. And towards the end we might do some of the Studio Works one. It's all like black and white. It's more concept, like, designs for the ships and things like that. But this is a really nice book that came out, or two books rather, that came out quite a while ago. And this goes for about $2.65 in acceptable condition on Amazon currently. It's got a nice little clasp on there, or magnet somewhere. And there's the side of it, and the back kind of looks pretty close there. Retailed for $80 when it came out. I got it for around $100 about a year ago. So here is the Gallery Works. This has more of the finished work in it here. The other one, the Studio Works, is more right, so we have the Metal Gear Solid, Art of Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4, the Gallery Works here. This has more like finished pieces. The Studio Works one is more sketchy, and it's all black and white. It's much more centered on like the actual design of the guns and vehicles and all that sort of a stuff. So I want us to look at the main book first, I guess, and then we might do a bit of the other one, but that one gets a little bit repetitive. This is just a stronger lead. So first off, I did want to brag too that I got to meet David Hayter at a con quite a few years ago as well. Wish you would have signed this in a silver pen. We got a nice little "you're pretty good" snake, and then to me here, signed by David. So pretty cool. He's a really nice guy. He was super personable, even with my little daughter, who at the time had no clue about Metal Gear. She really does now, though. Just, it's one of my favorite things. So, but also too, he is the writer of the X-Men 1 and 2 movies, if you didn't know. I think this is a nice, I think it's charcoal drawing here of Snake. And yeah, this book breaks everything up right in the order of the game. So the first bit here is all the first game. And I think all these opening images are from the instruction manual, if I remember correctly. I actually played the game way later. I first played it when I had graduated from college, and I played the GameCube remastered version. So I've yet to actually play the original stripped down version from the PlayStation 1. And they keep like not collecting it in like remastered stuff and things like that. The other ones I actually played through my PlayStation Vita when we moved here. So, but yeah, I just love Metal Gear is just kind of so unique and interesting from other things. The gameplay is stealth, which is a bit unusual, but just like the character design too. I remember Psycho Mantis was a big one. People were talking about that I really thought was cool whenever I was in school when it came out. And the fact that you had to switch your wired controller over to the different port, and he made it seem like he was messing with your TV. inputs and stuff. But I remember seeing like the McFarlane toys, which I still need to go back and get. I have like a crawling snake on his belly that has no articulation. But I want to get some of those original McFarlane toys. Because, yeah, as I've said before, my parents, specifically my mom, was super protective. She meant well, so I didn't get to play this game. When it came out, it was a mature rated game. So, but I would see the toys and everything and hear people talk about it. I was like, man, this guy's so creepy. He kind of evoked like Marilyn Manson at that time, I think. See some of the Metal Gears here. I do not remember which one is which. I know there's quite a few Metal Gears. Really love this image here, just like the use of the space and the shape here. Definitely very masterful and definitely not the type of art you typically encounter, really, especially with like video games and things like that. It's really unique. I think this was from the VR missions mode that came out a little while after the first one. A little comic here. I think that was in the first instruction manual too. I think they've got like the brighter colors here. Metal Gear is a very gritty and dark game, so it's kind of unusual to see like these sunset, sunrise sort of colors. But yeah, I think most of this art is done with like an actual ink brush, especially you can see it here. Just kind of the energy of the lines, the waviness. I don't think I could ever master this style. But man, it certainly is just cool to look at, We see our main villains again here. And it looks like they've got a coat on Psycho Mantis. That's not something you typically see either. And then I have the Metal Gear collection by IDW by Ashley Wood, I believe, over on the shelf as well. And when I got it online, so I was expecting it to be a bigger size book, but it's like a smaller omnibus through Dark Horse, or not through Dark Horse. This is printed by Dark Horse though. It's an interesting piece there with the picture of the gun behind the illustration of Snake there. See some more comic work down here. So yeah, let me know down below who was your favorite character. Maybe there was one in each Metal Gear you really liked. Yeah, it's pretty rare for, anyone to survive after the game is there. This image here is censored, so I'm putting some paper over part of it there. So if you want to see the full image, fortunately you'll have to look elsewhere. Want to keep my all ages rating here. We have Sons of Liberty. This is Metal Gear 2. And yeah, this game here. So you play as Raiden for a whole lot of the game. So that was something that a few people didn't quite care for. But, you know, it was still cool. And I remember when I played it, I didn't even realize that or remember that. So I remember I was playing it on my Vita on the bus like, oh, where's Snake at? There's the image I got signed there. And then this, I have too. This was a different game. I'm trying to remember the name of it. But I think it had like some more missions in it if I remember. I never played a Raiden standalone game either. Got the Sons of Liberty here. Some more Metal Gears. Little chibi Snake there. So yeah, this looks more watercolory here. Yeah, all of this kind of has more of a watercolor look. That one specifically, though, was pretty heavily done up like that. So once again, I think that this was probably the instruction manual art here. I think she was the first boss, if I remember. And then, of course, yeah, Revolver is one that find a way to appear. I think in all of the Metal Gears, this one was so odd here. Fat Man, the guy in the roller blades on the roof. You'd have him slip on bird poop. Then Vamp here. Didn't realize he was the same voice actor as Samurai Jack. And this looks like it just done. I don't know if Copic's really huge here, but it's kind of looks like what it's colored in. Copic, or however you want to pronounce them. So yeah, this looks like it's more concept work here than in that first section. Maybe they didn't have a lot of that art. It looks like this is a straight up maquette. And this is the image they used for the remaster that I bought on the PS Vita. Snake Eater was the big one. Spent a ton of hours playing on the Vita, I remember. Remember this came out on the 3DS too. I was surprised because this had always been only on the PlayStation. Let's see that I was missing. And Metal Gear is kind of just always done its own thing, you know. Whenever you like try to read like a full synopsis of all the games and everything, I mean, playing them, you're kind of still like, what's going on? But if you just come in completely with no point of reference, it can definitely be quite a bit to handle. I think it's so interesting they're going to try to turn this into some movies, and it's like, well, if you don't embrace kind of the madness of these games, I don't know how successful that'll be, you know. Volgan here, I think he was, well, he's not the big bad of this game, but he's pretty important. Another Ocelot. He's very young in this game. This is him and Snake's first encounter. And this is more or less Snake's mom here, the boss, and she's got like a big snake scar on her body. Trying to remember which ones. I know you encounter everyone in the forest here. What the sorrow is the end, this guy, the camouflage guy. He's pretty interesting. I think he turns into leaves whenever you fully defeat him. The Fury was a boss. He reminded me a lot of the first boss in Siphon Filter. With the flamethrower and everything. He's an astronaut. And the Sorrow, there's really no fight for him, but it's interesting, you know, he's hovering above you and you're like in a river of, you know, like dead souls or something. But it's certainly a very memorable encounter. I think this was your weapons guy here, if I remember. Let's see. Yeah. And here we see more integration here of like illustrations within pictures, kind of to add a bit more of immersion to it. I think they use these in cutscenes, if I remember. And I think this was probably for a remake as well. You know, just because it's a different art style entirely. And I think that was the art too. Like maybe that was the box art and that was inside, I don't know. The better shot at old Ocelot there. Yeah, see here's the actual concept work. So yeah, the pain is the guy with the bees. I'm trying to remember the Fears fight though. And then we have Guns of the Patriots. This is Metal Gear 4, which was kind of like a big send-off and felt mostly like they were just trying to tell the story rather than focus on gameplay, which is fine. I think they're really trying to flex the graphical capabilities of the PS3 at the time. And I remember the opening load screen when it shows Snake smoking endless cigarettes as the game is slowly loading onto the PS3. Remember, she keeps making a bunch of eggs in the game. I'm trying to remember. I think she's Otacon's kid. I'm trying to recall. And this guy's fun. The back of his head has like the exclamation point. And then these two get married. And he always has like really bad gas throughout the game. Drebbing with his soda addicted monkey. And we get to meet this voice actor too. He's a really nice guy. He's the voice of old Cyborg on Teen Titans. So yeah, still Ocelot hanging out, doing his thing. You see the weird octopi ladies. I always thought this was unusual, like the strange legs they put on these guys. And they make like mooing noises and stuff. Never really quite understood why. Then of course we see some more mechs here. And we have Peace Walker. I actually don't recall a lot about Peace Walker. I may not have even played this particular one. Yeah, I don't think this one was on the remaster, so I think this came out on the PSP. And then ironically, it's not part of the Vita remaster. We see a lot more conceptual stuff in this one. Some more comic stuff there. And these are all the environments here. Okay. So yeah, they have a nice silver leafing on the pages here. So here is the studio works. I am probably not going to showcase this whole one. It's because I said it gets a bit more repetitive. But I'll certainly show. I'll certainly show you guys quite a bit so you can just kind of get the feel. This is more like fine detail. Heavily conceptual. And it's organized the same way where it's, you know, each game as it was released. I wonder how many pages this book would end up being if they blew each of these character pages up. Because, I mean, this looks like, you know, they left no stone unturned. So it's just talking about maybe they lost all the concept work for the first one. I'm not thinking that now. I see more like scene layout and environmental type stuff. And a lot of it looks like just straight up pencil scans here. Maybe I'll get through the first game here. I like these though. Maybe I'll just keep a cleaner pace through these, because I mean there really is some beautiful work in here. I'd hate for you guys to miss it, especially since this is a rather expensive item. And I'd love for you guys to get the chance to experience as much of it as you can. So, yeah, we see thumbnails here. I love whenever you shrink down line work and it looks way more complicated, and it makes the artists look like they're better than they are. But these are all tremendous. But like even in comics, how they draw on an 11 by 17 board and they shrink it on down where you have all these fine lines, especially when you have like stuff drawn with like a mechanical pencil and things like that. This is a nice piece here. I don't recall seeing like a formal transition to the next game though. Oh, we've got a 2 in the corner, so maybe that's our indication. This is when they're really trying to maximize the space of the book. At this point, there's certainly not really a ton more to say about the game, or games rather. See you riding in here. Moved on to game number 3. Yeah, there's that scar I was talking about. So this is unpublished characters here. So that's interesting. Let me go back a second to or maybe they're just called like the numbers. I don't see a number 1. That's why I was looking. This was interesting here. go back to the regular characters. And we see a different kind of snake. Looks like a tattoo in there instead of a scar. Much more different art style than these here. Wonder how many people worked on the Metal Gear games. I mean, Metal Gear 4 here. Riding, leaking out all over the place. Yeah, this here's much more finer details. But yeah, I like the bigger concept pieces. I thought there was more of this type of stuff in the book. I don't know if I've actually formally sat down and looked at this as much as the other one. This is Peace Walker here. Starting to see more of the characters that I don't know. Alright, that's gonna do it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, you all have a super slumber. Thanks. Bye.